Hello everyone, in this video we'll give you a short overview of how to plan a project in Reonic. We'll start here with our very own lead funnel, start entering with the address, selecting the house, confirming the address, looking at energy consumption obviously. We'll switch this to 3-person and an increase of 2%. And yeah, we don't have a solar system yet. We do want to skip the heating question for now, and we would have an electric car. Just select one here, annual mileage. Let's go for 15k here, and I don't have an EV charger yet. And what am I looking for? I want a PV system obviously, so I'll check in with the PV comfort, and I want a storage unit, and I want a charger for my EV, and I get all the simulations here on the left already, including a detailed view of energy flows, so very informative for the end customer. And then I can send the inquiry here, making this relatively short as we are filling out a test lead. And I am the owner of the building and I have read the data protection conditions. Sending this through, we can switch to the portal, which is basically where we are processing the lead afterwards. And I'm refreshing and I can see the test lead just came through. I can open this one up and go through the pre-qualification procedure, which is basically I have all my basic lead contact data here, and in the pre-qualification process I can fill out my own qualification process. So basically a call guideline that I can go through that is completely customizable. In this case, this client is looking for an EV charger. He is looking for sustainability. He wants want this implemented in a month, so relatively short. And he's the owner of the property. A few extra notes, and you can see if I'm filling this out, it says that it's completed right now. So that's fantastic. We have pre-qualified the lead and we can now create the offer for him. So we click here on offer, we say it's in new, and I can obviously also fill out a questionnaire for consultation now, but what we want to focus on is the planning part, so making sure that PV and storage unit and everything is to his liking. We can see this here in the overview, and we'll start with the solar system right here. Start with planning. We'll do a 3D planning for now. So we look at the house that he is now willing to put modules on. It's a classic 3D editor here. We can switch between different map materials to make sure that we plan on the most accurate one. The ones from Google look absolutely fantastic. Let's check the ones from Apple. We'll stay with Google. And we'll also check the available 3D data from Google Solar or Google Earth. Really helps us to estimate how large this tree, for example, is, or how high the other buildings are. Definitely something I'd recommend before drawing in any structures in 3D. It takes about 3 to 5 seconds to load, and here it is. So we can see this tree is relatively high. Fortunately, it's on the north-facing side, but let's make sure that we account for that. And we could theoretically place modules directly on this, but you can see the outer lines are a bit wobbly, so I would try to draw in the house architecture manually. How are we doing that? We click here on the left here on Draw Roof, and we basically just follow the outer shapes of the roof here with our mouse. And the good thing is that the system already tries to put a roof shape out of the edge points together. In this case, we just need to do some minor adjustments. So in this case, making sure that this side here is actually completely flat, and we also would need to move this line here a bit, and same goes for this one. So we have the correct measurements in. If we want to double check measurements, we can always do this. We have this little ruler here on the side, which we can place in different angles and get measurements out. That's fantastic. We do have a chimney here, so let's click on that, add a chimney, and afterwards we can place the modules, which will be super fast. Chimney is there. we do place the modules now. We can do it like this. Make sure that we move the modules a bit to the side, and theoretically we can also put stuff here on the western side, but we'll stay with this one here for now. We hit save. In the next step we select the inverter. In this case we're looking at roughly 4 kilowatts, so relatively small. The smallest one we have is the 5 one, so we take the 5 kW one and draw the string. We'll do 1 string and assign this to the MPP tracker. We can see that we have a moderate middle of the voltage in this one MPP tracker, so that's fantastic. And next up we have an overview of the positions that we've planned. We can either import a planning package now to account for the rest of the components, or we can add components individually, which for example could be an installation fee, or any other accessoire that we want to have on the invoice or offer later on. Fantastic. We'll hit save now, and closing this with an X. We'll add a battery storage now. We'll do this time with a planning package, so we don't need to select individual components. After this has been accounted for, we can see that as the battery interconnect, high voltage battery, and the control unit. So it accounted for 3 components in this case. And with the solar system and the energy storage, we can now have a look at energy flows, for example, which is fantastic. So out of the planning we did, we can see how much energy our system generates, how much goes into the grid, how much goes into the battery storage. Same with economy. We can see when the system will break even. In this case, after 4 years, with a total investment of around £6,000. Might be a bit more in reality, but it accounts for all the feed-in and grid-specific usage. So that's very helpful. And we can go to Finalize and Preview and have a look at the PDF offer that we can generate here and then send out to the end customer. This will take a few seconds to load, as it's a few pages. And as you can see, we'll just go into the overview section here, that this is completely customizable. So whether it's cover letter, whether it's colors, whether it's general alignment and order of pages, whether you want to add your own pages. You can see the MCS standardization is here at the last step. You have the data sheets, you have the picture of the PV system, you have the components itself, you have simulation relevant data and profitability data. And this you can either download, print to the customer and get the physical signature, or you can request a signature digitally, similar to what we know with classical signature tools. We can finalize and preview, send this to the client can sign digitally, and we get a confirmation email that the client has signed with us. This has been the short overview. I hope you check out the other videos that we have on the channel, and hope to see you soon on the portal. Thanks.